Episode 2, let's get right into it. On the morning of April 13th, I weighed in at 157.2 pounds. Fasted for 14 hours, I ate an apple, took about 15 minutes, and fasted again for 57 hours, dropping 8.4 pounds down to 148.8. Later that evening, I refed with only one thing in mind: balance, control. Limit calories if you can. If you're new to my channel, fasting isn't particularly that difficult for me, but what comes harder is the diet. For me, I usually eat in excess of 5,000 or 6,000 or even more to stay satiated. And so to circumvent that, to offset gaining weight and to actually lose weight, I perform rolling fasts, doing extended fasts to keep the weight down. I've been doing this for over 1.5 years now, and while I've been successful, I really want to change a lot of the other things when it comes to staying healthy, being healthy, feeling good. My goal isn't to fast 65 or 90 hours or even more than that for the rest of my life. Yes, I will do them occasionally, just like I'm doing right now, but I don't want to do them indefinitely forever. Over time, I've gone from fasting for 90+ hours down to around 65 hours, and now if I get to that point, I would love to fast for less. At the same time, to achieve that, I need to change the way I eat. So let me show you what I refed with the other day. Started off with broccoli, a little too long in the air fryer, but still good. Brussels sprouts, a little too short in the oven, but still good. And then a big helping, a big bowl of white rice, salmon, mushrooms, and cherry tomatoes. All of this cooked in oil, by the way. An Oreo protein bar, which was so-so, not my favorite. And a bowl of sugar-free Jell-O banana pudding with plain yogurt, milk, and some Biscoff cookies for a total of 2,482 calories and 137 grams of protein. I ate all of this in 44 minutes. So two big things here. Number one, I was able to eat under 2,500 calories. Isn't something well, for me, I told myself, okay, try to eat under 4,500 calories. Don't eat 6,000 calories. See if you can at least limit it by about 1,500. And I was able to do that at under 2,500 calories. What makes this different from this refeed versus all my other past refeeds? I really don't know. I think if anything, it's just trying to be a lot more mindful, trying to be in control of my actions. This is something that I put into practice when it comes to fasting, when it comes to waking up in the morning and going for my walks, when I go to the gym. These habits are very routine. They're very instilled in me at this point. The diet part, not so much. Once the floodgates open, it is very hard for me to control. Does this mean that every single refeed is going to be this good from now on? Absolutely not. There is no way. But this is a great start. This is in a lot of ways, this is another chapter in the books. It isn't like it just went from eating junk food, 6,000-7,000 calories of fast food, to just eating this way. This has been a culmination over time. I have been building up to this point, from going from fast food place to getting pie at the very end, to then occasionally throwing a salad in, to occasionally then eating some vegetables, some fruits, and then having some clean days here and there, limiting calories where I can, maybe not to the point of 2,500 calories, but maybe 4,000. And so the way I look at this is a shift. Part of this shift also is the 44-minute refeed. This isn't my typical 4, 5, 6 hour refeed. Does it mean that every refeed is gonna be 44 minutes from now on? Absolutely not. But what it means is I don't have to continue grazing and snacking throughout the entire time on my refeed. And sure, those moments are gonna come, especially if I'm going out to eat, especially if I'm out with friends and I'm grabbing drinks. But in a particular moment like this, when I have all the control when it comes to what I'm eating and what I'm taking in and the time frame, I can put some controls in there. Doing something like this, I believe, will help me shorten my fast so I don't have to fast as long in the future if I can keep controlling my calorie intake. That has yet to be seen, but this is the entire point of doing a series like this. Doing the road to 130 pounds is really dialing in, really tweaking, really optimizing my habits, getting better at what I do, learning more about myself. The awesome thing too is the day after the refeed, I think I weighed in at 151.8 pounds, which was a 3-pound gain after eating all of that food. And if you've seen my 6,000+ calorie refeeds, usually I'll gain way more than that. It isn't a 3-pound gain, it's usually more between like a 5 and 7-pound gain, a 6 and 8-pound gain. The day after, the 17th, I weighed back at 148.8 pounds, the same weight I was after completing my 57-hour fast. And then this morning, about 55-ish hours fasted, I weighed in at 147.2 pounds, a little over a 1.5-pound drop from where I was on my last fast. So obviously a downtrend, I'm very happy about it, but at the same time, I'm starting to realize that the weight isn't just going to push itself off that quickly, especially as lean as I am right now. Because I'm at a leaner state, because I'm not 235 pounds at 5'3", and I'm currently in the high 140s at 5'3", I had high hopes that I was going to drop another 2 pounds after doing, let's say, around a 65-hour fast, but this wasn't the case today. It's also making me realize that the goal to hit 130 pounds isn't going to be that quickly. It's not just gonna drop that quick, especially with me trying to lean out and still build muscle, because going to the gym, lifting weights is still something I do regularly. But none of my goals have changed. It's still to lose fat, lose excess fat, to build muscle, and to keep a healthy mindset, to eventually get to the point where I'm not doing such prolonged fasts, where I'm doing shorter fasts, where maybe some days I'm getting to eat back to back. Continue to optimize the way I work out, the way I lift weights, but I think the biggest thing for me is to really clean up the diet, is to find a really good balance between all of these things. Part of that is being accountable. That's why I'm very transparent. That's why I'm very honest about what I'm doing. Can't hide any of it, because the moment I do, that's when things go off the rails. That's when I will eat things and be like, well, no one's gonna see. Not tracking calories in any way is not gonna hold me accountable. And it also doesn't mean that I'm just gonna have to track everything for the rest of my life. That's not what I wanna do. But in order for me to get better at what I'm doing, I'm going to have to implement this every now and then. And this series, this road to 130, is exactly that. To show transparency, to be honest, not only with myself, but for anybody who's watching this. Oh, I wanted to point out that that banana pudding I ate, that Jell-O sugar-free banana pudding where I added just plain yogurt and milk and Biscoff cookies, game changer. Definite game changer. Maybe what I'll do in the future is give you a recipe. It's very easy. I already explained what I do or what I put to make it good for me, but that really curbs my sweet tooth. That's a lot different than eating half a pumpkin pie or a bunch of cheesecake. Sure, I will eat that in the future. I know that there is no way I'm never going to eat it again, but I think for the majority, if I can maybe substitute something else outside of pumpkin pie or cheesecake or something that is so high in calories, doing this for the majority of the time and having cheesecake or pie every once in a while, I think it'll really help the scale go down. So what's next? Well, tomorrow I'm going to be breaking. I'm going to be doing a proper refeed. I should be finishing a 90-hour fast by tomorrow. I didn't even expect to do a 90-hour fast, but at this point I feel really motivated. I feel really energized. I've been walking every day. I've been going to the gym to lift weights. I've had no issues when it comes to energy or just doing the shit I need to get done with work or anything else I'm doing. But I'm gonna do a proper refeed tomorrow. We'll see what the scale goes down tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be 146.8 like I had hoped. But when it comes to the weight and the next goals, I told myself, as I realized how difficult it's going to be to continue to lean out, to get to as lean as I wanna be, I told myself, you don't have to rush it, just get yourself on a downward trend. Just keep pushing and finding a way to get the scale to move down. And I said I have to do this without compromising lifting weights and making sure that muscle stays a priority in what I do. But in the end, with all of the tools and the resources that I have, being honest and being accountable and being imperfectly consistent is going to get me to my goal. Part of that goal too is to not swing in weight. I don't wanna be gaining 10, 15 pounds, losing it all again, gaining it all back, going through that cycle. I'm at a point now where I want to be able to really get down to my goal weight, maintain. Yes, it's going to have some ups and downs. Life just works that way. You're gonna have peaks and valleys when it comes to anything that we do. But if I can really constrain how often the swings happen, I think it's going to be, it's gonna be a really tough part, but something that I wanna be able to show that I can do and do successfully. I think really that's the next part of this journey. I know a lot of you are probably wondering where sugar fasting or the sugar diet plays a part in here. And it's still there, it's still something I want to try, but I'm at this point where when I fast, and as long as I feel good and I don't feel tired and I feel energetic, I'm just going to keep continuing with doing my regular water fast. But going down the road, as you continue to watch this series, what I want to do when I feel hungry, when I'm not feeling 100%, that is where I want to refeed. but not refeed in that full type of way, kind of have a modified fast where I'll have a couple pieces of fruit, see how it makes me feel energy-wise, if it gets the cravings out of the way, if it doesn't trigger me, and then keep pushing on with my fast. You can call it a modified fast if you want. For me, I'm still gonna stop the timer, refeed, go again. But in those moments, those are moments that are going to be, those are the questionable moments for me. Will I be able to eat a couple pieces of fruit or 500 calories worth of fruit, 750 calories worth of fruit maybe, and feel okay to push on with a fast without feeling triggered? I was able to do that a few days ago when I just had an apple and pushed on with my next fast. But like I said, the question is this something that I can do more often, more consistently, without it triggering me to eat anything else? I think so. I think I'm at this place now. I don't know what it is. I feel like a switch has flipped where I tell myself, you can control this. You got this. You're gonna be fine. Keep a positive mindset. I think one of the things that helps me get through these fasts as well is I know that if I'm not feeling a 65 or even feeling, let's say, a 42, that if I want to eat the next day, I have a backup plan now of adding a piece or a couple pieces of fruit in there. In a weird way, just knowing that that is a backup plan makes it a lot easier to tell myself, you're gonna be fine. I don't know. It's also weird because I think it's a very big psychological thing. Either way, you're gonna see what all of this looks like. I'm gonna make sure that I keep all of my notes intact, record everything that I eat, share what I can with you, give you my honest opinions on everything that I'm doing and how I'm feeling. I guess I do all of that anyway. So stay tuned for the next episode. I'll see you in the next one.